you're attaching yourself to different people who are unstable, you're going to be unstable. Like I said, it's going to make you crazy because, hey, today you're believing this and it's Monday. Tomorrow, Tuesday, I don't know. I think I believe this because such and such said it. Well, Wednesday, I think I believe this because so-and-so said it. Unstable people, and therefore you have an unstable foundation. You can't walk straight because everything is just unstable.
Hold up. Hey, yo, Tama Beats, let's get him something new to ride to. Welcome to the Pursuit of Passion podcast with K. Noel. So take a seat and listen. Listen to the practical words, encouraging words that are here to help you get over the hump in your life, cause you are in pursuit of your passion. Yeah, I see you, and I present to ya the Pursuit of Passion with K. Noel.
Pursuit of passion, pursuit of passion. You gotta have it, you gotta have it. Pursuit of passion, pursuit of passion. Yeah, you gotta have it, you gotta have it.
What's going on, fam? This is your boy, K. Noel, back again. You know how we do it, another episode. So, we doing it pretty good. So, check this out. I got my boy back on with me. Most of y'all know who he is. But for those of you who don't know who he is, I'm going to let him go ahead and introduce himself so y'all can get to know him. Because, this guy is incredible, man. He's a master. He's a doctor. The list goes on. I just can't stop there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let you introduce yourself, sir.
I tell you, with the introduction, you almost had me want to look around and figure out who you talking about. Like me? Like I'm a celebrity? Okay, all right. But no, I am Kodi Patrick. I am a brother, a friend, a minister, an educator, a leader, and I'm just here to support another brother and whatever we can do or whatever we can talk about to get the message out to the masses, I am here for it.
Absolutely. So y'all, most of my listeners that have been listening on the audio version, you have heard his voice, but now you get an opportunity to actually see his face. And don't worry, those other episodes, they'll be up on YouTube soon. So y'all be sure to check those out. But in the meantime, so I was talking to him the other day and I told him I had this thought and I asked him if he wanted to record this episode with me. So this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the enablers. Now, let me break it down for y'all because this is where that thought came from. Some things that you need to do for your business. Or whatever it is that you're trying to pursue, whether it's your education, whether you're trying to pursue that degree, or whether you're trying to pursue that certification, you're going hard for it. And to some, it may seem like you may be overextending yourself. Now, the drive that you have and the work that you got to put into it. But then, there's some people that's on the sideline and they mean well, but they tell us maybe you need to slow it down a little bit. And so because of that, we tend to back off from the drive that we would normally have. So, bro, I just want your thoughts on that.
Oh, man. So I was thinking about that earlier. And I think we definitely have to distinguish between the two. Like you made the good point of there are those who mean well, who may tell you to back off, but then there are those people who don't mean well. And so they try to put it in such a way that they care about you and your success by trying to slow you down a little bit, but really their motives and their intentions the whole time is to really slow you down. They have a bad heart about it. And it made me think about family members, especially your close loved ones, your parents, your siblings, your grandparents, those people who really do have a good interest, and they say that they have the best interest at hand for you, but sometimes they just don't know, or they have a plan for you too, just as much as you have a plan for yourself. and you have to be diligent about sticking with the plan that you have for yourself.
Well, let me ask you this though. So what would you say, what would be the way that you can decipher between the two, as in it's some advice that you need to listen to, or it's some advice you need to pretty much tell them to kick the rocks? Now, hopefully this is not your parents you're talking to and you wouldn't tell your parents to kick the rocks, but I'm just saying.
No, I don't think I would tell anybody so blatantly that way. But you know what? I'll say this: when it's talking to my parents and I share certain things with them that they don't probably agree with or they don't understand why I do it, I just listen. Just nod my head. Okay, all right. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, but I'm still going to do this. I'm still going to pursue this. And the reason why is because as much as I believe in prayer, that's what guides my life. Reading, fasting, meditating. My thing is, at the end of the day, you have a purpose, I have a purpose, and God has a purpose for me. And I don't want to reach the end of my life and come before him, still make it to heaven, but yet hear him say, well, you didn't accomplish your purpose or the reason why I sent you there because you chose to listen to all these other voices. And it's not that you were confused, but you knew my voice. You knew exactly what I wanted you to do, but you still subjected yourself to the voices of others. So that's what keeps me motivated. That's all I'm able to discern and perceive. And again, I mean, I think the best example is when it comes to my parents. Like when I moved from Georgia to Texas, they didn't want to hear that. Eventually they supported me, but are you sure? How do you know this? How do you know that? And then when I moved from Texas to Colorado, oh, no. How you know this? How you know that? You sure? And then I just shared with them recently, whenever this comes out, I may already be there. I'm relocating back to Texas. So when I'm talking to my parents, I hear my dad in the background going, well, why are you doing that? That's going backwards. God will never send you backwards. He always wants you to go forward. And like I said, all I did was just nod my head. So, okay, all right, still want to be respectful, still try to honor your parents and things of that nature. But for the most part, I'm like, I'm going to make this move because I know what I know. I know what I heard. And not to be disrespectful, but I expected this from you because we're not in the same place. Our walk is not the same. So even with that being said, why get upset with other people when they don't believe in what you believe in, when they don't believe in your vision, when they don't believe in the moves that you make? Because you have a word, you have a talent, a gift, a passion, and a lot of times the direction that you're supposed to move in. So don't listen to the naysayers or people who don't believe. Because the moves that you make, guess what? They'll believe in it eventually. And a lot of times you come to realize that the moves that you're making are for those very same people. And if you don't make those moves, then not only do you not move forward, but they don't move forward either.
Wow. Let me see. I need to know, where can I start? Because, okay, I go right here. I think sometimes, especially we're gonna notch it down to family. They care about you so much and they love you so much that it's at a point that they're concerned for you. And because they want the best for you, and at the same time, they're confined to their restrictions that they put on their own selves. Whereas you have taken all of the restrictions off of yourself. And because you're taking all of the restrictions off of yourself, you allow God to do what he wants to do and move freely in your life. So I think sometimes people are afraid, and then they project that same fear on you. And yeah, we love our parents, we love our siblings, and we understand. I get it. You care about them. But at the same time, you gotta let me go on this journey. Because like you said, at the end of the day, it's gonna be a blessing for them. Because not only is it gonna benefit you, but it's gonna strengthen them, and it's gonna show them to take the restraints off of their selves.
Mother, father, if y'all should just happen to hear or see this one day, know that I love you deeply. So that is my so that is my disclaimer. So when you were saying that, what came to mind is, and I've heard people say it before, it's like whoever wins your ear or whoever wins your heart. No, whoever wins your ear wins your heart. And when I grew up, a lot of things I wasn't allowed to do. And there was a lot of fear-based boundaries that were set in place. Now, again, some things are, acting in prudence, love, wisdom. And the older I get, the more I understand that. But then there are things that, though they sound wise, they're based in fear. And so as I got older, in a lot of ways, it was somewhat rebellious. I think we all kind of go through that stage, well, especially if you have certain boundaries and restrictions, you're careful not to cross those things. And if you're like me, I have a real strong conscience. So the right and the wrong is always playing out in my mind, even if I'm at work. When all the professionals or the higher ups can say, well, yeah, do this, do this, do this. But I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. Honestly, I want to go that way. But I'm hearing that other voice that says, no, I expect more from you. Growing up, sometimes that gets muddled. And you don't really know if doing the right thing is the right thing.
Right.
Because sometimes doing the right thing, or what seems like the right thing, can really be the wrong thing. And what seems like doing the wrong thing is really the right thing. But who are you listening to? And this is the point I'm trying to bring it back to, is that my parents stay watching the news, CNN, 13 WMAZ. So when you hear all the death, the robberies, the violence, and they still do it to this day, I was just like, God bless them. That's why I say I just nod my head and But if they're constantly listening to all this fear-based media, and I'm, as much as possible, trying to listen to the voice of God, trying to listen to podcasts such as yourself, Be Relentless, thank you, sir. Because I listen to some of those podcasts and I'm like, yeah, I didn't expect to get convicted this early in the morning, but okay, I needed it. Listening to your podcast, listening to certain ministers, pretty much listen to the word of God. Those things is going to give me that foundation to move in the way of purpose. I have that voice and I have my parents' voice that is really being driven by fear. At the end of the day, I have to choose faith. So even those same people that we love and that we listen to, that we admire, that we adore, who are they listening to? I thought about this maybe like a week ago, being on Clubhouse, right? So I'm having all these suggested rooms, which are very not what I need to indulge in. Let's say that. They're very provocative. They're very sexual driven. Or why are there bad men out here with good women? And why are the black women, why are they not supporting the black men? Yada, 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 yada. And one thing I learned about Clubhouse is that those rooms are suggested based on who you follow. Mm-hmm. So whoever I'm connected to, whoever I'm following, I'm going to get their suggestions. So then it started making me feel like, wait a minute, these people that I'm following, what are y'all listening to? What groups or what rooms are y'all members of? And that should show us right there that we not only have to assess who we're with directly, but who are some other people, who are they associated with that we can be indirectly associated with? And so now I'm gonna have to start going through my list and purging, because some of those rooms I don't want or need suggested.
Well, I just want to put out there, I'm not a Clubhouse junkie, so I only look at two people. That's E.T. and that's Freedom Riders. So it is not coming from me, but I'm glad that you said that, because now it explains to why I see some of these different people on my feed. Because one time I saw Mace on there, and I just said, well, let me drop in and see what the great pastor, reverend, rapper Mason Betha is talking about.
Right.
And I stayed in there for about 5 or 10 minutes, and I was like, okay, it's time to go.
The struggle.
But I would say this: if not careful, listening to those that's close to you can hinder division. Let me talk about one of my favorite people in the Bible, Joseph. Joseph kept having a dream. And from his brothers all the way to his dad. Now, his daddy didn't want to just outright say that, Joseph, you're tripping right now, son. Your dreams is all way left field. But at the same time, he just kind of softly gave that review. But what I'm saying is this: if Joseph would have allowed what they were saying to latch on to him, and when he saw those dreams were to help him keep pushing. And so those different trials that he was going through when he was in prison and stuff like this, he wouldn't have never done the things that he wouldn't have never allowed God to use him the way he used him, because he was listening to the stuff that everybody else was saying, that he's tripping, he's crazy. And see, that's the thing. You can't let nobody dictate your vision and your dreams and what you're planning to do, because the moment you allow people to lock you in and say that what you're trying to do is crazy, what you're trying to do is impossible, you will never see what is on the other side. So in order to get to the other side, y'all heard me talk about this. No matter what you're doing on your journey, you will have those people on the sideline who will be saying different stuff. And sometimes they mean well. But at the same time, they mean well, but it's not for you, because what it's going to do is going to hinder you. So just like you were saying, you got to know what spirit of that voice that they're talking from. Because if it's coming from the wrong voice, if it's not that right voice that you need, then you will never unlock all of those treasures that are within you. That's a plug for my book. Y'all go purchase it. But
yes.
But that's a key thing, though. I need you to stay focused. If it doesn't line up with where you're trying to go, then you need to cut that voice off. I'm not saying you got to cut them off, because let's be real about it. You can't cut family off. Well, we ain't going. What I'm saying is you got to know how to distance people from your vision, because that's your baby. This is 2021. Now, some of y'all mothers, y'all know doggone well, y'all are not, this is before 2020 and 2021. Y'all do not want everybody holding your baby. You don't even want nobody even touching your baby. So you need to handle your vision, your dreams. You need to handle that same thing in the same manner. Don't let everybody try to put their hands in your vision. I was thinking about this the other day. I'm sorry, man. I'm on a roll right now. but I was thinking about this the other day. When you're trying to learn from everybody, because everybody has their own ideology of how things should be done. If it's not lining up with your vision and where you're trying to go, it will cause total chaotic confusion in your mind. You will not know which way you need to go. But God has already put a purpose, a line in where you need to go. In my book, Be Relentless, I talk about the purpose of DNA. We all have a particular DNA on our journey. Your DNA, your journey, your purpose DNA determines the journey that you will go on. Now, some people's journey may look similar to yours, but because you have a different type of DNA, it won't be the exact same way. So that's why you got to be careful for always trying to fully look at everybody else's path and trying to mimic theirs. Because if you're trying to mimic theirs, you're going to crash, and then you're wondering, why am I crashing?
Right.
I'm going to let you go. I'm going to drop the mic right there.
No, yeah, that was an appropriate mic drop right there. I mean, you said so much that, you know, I'm still working on my active listening skills. And I was like, oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point. But even going, and I'll try to work my way, make it all coherent. But when you sound like cutting people off or distancing yourself from people, if you have to do that, I think one thing we have to learn how to do is how to do things respectfully. Because God is all about community. He's about peace. So even if he does tell you to cut somebody off, he won't send you to do it in such a way that it's disrespectful, right, or harmful or denigrating to them, because then you will be acting in pride yourself. So now he has to deal with you as well. So there's a respectful way of disagreeing. There's a respectful way of saying, you know what, that's a good idea. It's just not for me. And I think about that at the same time, because if someone asks me for advice about something, I try to keep in mind that, okay, it's just merely a suggestion. I'm not trying to get you to go my way. I'm just throwing it out there as a suggestion, as an idea. If you take it, wonderful. If not, hey, that's great too, because you have your own path.
Yeah.
You have to do what is for you, which is another reason why I love it. I love supporting people who do things that's different, that you don't hear about as much, because it's so easy to express your dreams or your vision and get them shot down by so many people. And sometimes you may just need that one or two people, one person, maybe two people in your corner say, you know what? Hey, go for it. I may not even be able to see your vision, and that's cool, because not everybody's going to see your vision. But I respect when a person does something that's different from the rest of the crowd, especially when it's somebody who's like close to me and I don't know anybody, maybe like in my immediate circle who's doing it. I'm like, oh, that's different. Like, I can't envision that for myself, or even for anybody else who's around me. But I like that, because it gives me an opportunity to see somebody do something that's different from me, but I can still learn from it.
Yeah. So
like when you do your podcast and you talk about all your different equipment that you get, I'm like, yeah, I probably never go into the podcast world. But you know what? I could look into a camera for Zoom meetings that I do, or when I do meetings for work. So just by you doing you being you encourage me to look at things from a different perspective, and how can I use it for myself and make it my own. So I love that. The part about, what did you say? Oh my goodness. So the other thing that came to mind is when the Bible says, it's in Philippians, when Paul says, follow me as I follow Christ. He didn't say follow me in every single thing that I do. Follow me as I follow Christ. Therefore, if I do something that's out of alignment with Christ, even the very principles that I teach you, don't follow those principles. Follow the godly path.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's going to be some people who can tell you to do the right things. Oh, parents, do as I say, not as I do. Right? But the older I've gotten, I've come to realize that is such an excuse. Because even if I don't follow what you say, I'm more prone to follow what you do. Even if I don't remember half the words that you speak to me, my mind will go back to, you know what? What did this person do in this situation? What did I see them do? And how did they behave towards me? And that's what's going to come out. So we all need to be in that place where we, do as I do and do as I say do, or whatever I'm trying to say. But you get the point. Like, we need to have integrity and walking this thing out. Yes, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to stumble. We're going to fall here and there. But you know what? Get up and do the right thing that you're supposed to do. And you know what? Reach back to other people and say, you know what? Yeah, I messed up there. Don't do that. Don't go that route. But the part where you say, like, people getting their lives jacked up, I think it's in 2 Peter 3 where it talks about these people, and these are believers who have been turned away from the faith, who are following the wrong doctrine because they are following unlearned and unstable people. And I found that so interesting because people are unlearned. So you go and read one thing for a couple of weeks and you come back and you figure you got a whole doctorate in it. Now you're ready to teach everybody. Nah, it don't work that way, for one. And for two, people who are unstable. They don't know which way the wind blows. They don't know which way they're going. One day they believe this, the next day they believe that. So when you're attaching yourself to different people who are unstable, you're going to be unstable. Like I said, it's going to make you crazy because, hey, today you're believing this and it's Monday. Tomorrow, Tuesday, I don't know. I think I believe this because such and such said it. Well, Wednesday, I think I believe this because so-and-so said it. Unstable people, and therefore you have an unstable foundation. You can't walk straight because everything is just unstable.
Wow. We're going to go to a commercial break real quick because I got a lot more to say. So we'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, fam? To all my business owners out there, do you need to get your business out to more eyes and ears? Do you have a book that you want to get into the hands of other people? Well, here's your opportunity. The Pursuit of Passion podcast is looking to partner with you. We are offering advertising opportunities, so hit us up today. All serious inquiries can email us at podcast@relentlessmotivationalgroup.com. And remember, all things motivate. Goals. How many goals have you set up for yourself when you gave up because it was too hard? How many times did you feel you weren't good enough because the journey seems tedious? I too felt this way, but then things changed. I realized I had to change how I think. I had to change who I was. I had to be relentless. I am Noel. I want to tell you about my book, Be Relentless. It teaches how to understand your roar, your design path, hitting your mark, and much more. Purchase your copy of Be Relentless today at www.relentlessmotivationalgroup.com. It's not just another book. It's a movement. So are you ready to be relentless?
All right, we're back. All right, so this is the first thing I gotta say. I want to go back to what you were saying about the connecting to different people and really being unstable. Again, there is dangers in who you connect with, and you all have to understand that. It's important to connect with people not only who have gone further than where you are now, but who are also trying to go where you're trying to go. Because you have somebody who is already there, who can tell you the way. Y'all heard me talk about this a few episodes ago. Who are already on the way and can and tell you, what to watch out for. And then you have people who are on the same journey with you, where it's gonna be some times that it's gonna get rough. It's no doubt about that. And you all can encourage each other. You all can encourage each other and strengthen your hands. And another thing that I wanted to talk about, dang, it was just here. I just lost it just that fast. The last thing that you had just said. Man, you said so much good stuff.
About the unstable and unlearned?
The unlearned. That's what I want to get at. When you're connecting with people that is wanting to help you, make sure you thoroughly see where they are. Because just like he was just saying, they will do a week's worth of research and you'll think they've been doing this for years. When in reality, they got that doctorate degree that they paid for. Not knocking anybody that did it. It whatever rocks your boat, but I'm just saying. But they can be detrimental to you as well. You gotta pay attention to all of this kind of stuff. And you gotta learn how to make wise decisions. And sometimes that decision may not come just like that. You have to be okay with telling them to or you just wanting to take a moment to see which direction you need to go. Because believe you me, if you take the time, it's gonna show itself. It's just a matter of being patient. A lot of times we're so quick to want to rush into things that because we rushed, now we're making a whole mess of things. And you are on the right path, but then you was in a rush, and I'm going somewhere with this now. You was in a rush, and now you're on the side of the road, and your vehicle is broke down. And now here come the enablers. Told you I was going somewhere with this. The enablers are now coming. They rushing to your help, and they're coming to help you get your car back running. But the key is what they are doing, and see, this is what you don't see. They're enabling you to give up on your vision. Not realizing that you just made a bad decision. But they're using this, and y'all know I can't stand this word. Maybe it's not meant to be. So now they have found their excuse to tell you this. And now you're locked in because you made one mistake and you feel like, okay, so maybe they are right. Maybe it wasn't meant for me because I don't made this one mistake and now I'm on the sideline. Now I'm injured because I didn't follow my real trainer's advice because I thought I knew it all and I didn't want to follow my trainer's advice on how I should work out. And now I done pulled the hamstring. And so now here comes my family and tells me, well, maybe it wasn't meant for you to play sports. Maybe you should have went ahead and finished your degree. Maybe this is just a sign. I'm sure everybody has heard this. Maybe it's just a sign, but you have already seen every single thing that you needed to see that showed you and proved to you that this is you was on the path to destiny, that you are on the path to destiny. So what I need you to do, that though you made a mistake and though you on the sideline right now, what I need you to do is fix that vehicle and get back on the road again. Because see, the problem is we spend so much time on the sideline. And we sit there and then the people come and because they're already on the sideline anyway talking. Let's be real about it, because they're putting their fears on you anyhow. And they're not moving. So here they come together and now they're gonna try to confirm what they see. And what it looks like is your reality. But the truth of the matter is, if you're looking for your sign, this is your sign right here. For those of you who have made mistakes and you're on the sideline from your purpose, I need you to get back into your purpose, because this is your sign right here that you was on the right path. You made one mistake and now it's time for you to move. I'm getting a little upset right now, because y'all are allowing these people to enable you to put you out of commission. And just like my brother said, he added a little balance in what he was saying. You got to use the wisdom and how to tell them, I appreciate what you're telling me, but this ain't it. Y'all know how I do. I get a little relentless sometimes, so don't mind me. But you got to know the difference. That just because it looks like you failed, just because it looks like it's not meant to be, that does not mean that this is not your purpose. This may be just part of your journey so that you can help the next person behind you. There's a story in this. So I just need y'all to get back on the road and just keep going. I'm gonna let my brother take on that, so.
What you need me to say? That was mic drop number 2, 3, and 4. But it's funny because right before you said move, what came to mind was stay there. But not in a conflicting way, but it's being relentless and staying there in the posture that you have to move forward. In other words, don't move from that vision, stay in that vision.
Yeah.
Move, but stay right there in that vision.
Yeah.
And what came to mind was, going back to the Bible, John 5, the man who was lame at the pool of Bethesda.
Okay.
And the Bible says that he had been lame for 38 years. But it never gives you how long of a time period that he was actually at the pool. It just said that he was lame for 38 years. So all we know, he could have been at the pool for 5 or 10 years. No. And later on, we come to find out Jesus said, okay, now that you're healed, don't sin anymore, or else something worse is gonna come to you. So now that implies that whatever he did, he must have sinned some kind of way to have himself crippled and lame.
Yeah.
That speaks to the part where you talked about the failure. But the thing that also came to mind was this person is constantly trying to get to this pool, and then Jesus said, do you want to be made well? He says, well, sir, I don't have anyone to put me in the pool. And every time I try to move forward, somebody gets right in front of me. It's other people who are sick. It's other people who have their issues. And some people, they will try to get in front of you. They will try to impede you so that you can't move forward. Whether it's, it's self-preservation at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it. I understand. One thing that the Bible does not say that came to mind is, what about a person who can be a plant enabler? And what I mean by that is, this person, ain't nothing wrong with them, but they are specifically sitting into your life to keep you complaining about your condition. So they are supporting your pity for yourself. Now, should we be empathetic and sympathetic? Absolutely. But we should never be in a place where we feel like, woe is me, I will never get out of this. And then allow somebody else to come right in and be like, you know what, you're right. You won't ever get out of this. You know what? Maybe this is just your purpose. Maybe it just wasn't meant to be. So I had to think, if that man encountered that person, because in reality, I think we all to some degree have encountered somebody like that. We feel like maybe we couldn't move forward, or maybe we shouldn't do this, or maybe we shouldn't work out. I'm not going to tell them myself, maybe we shouldn't do this or shouldn't do that. But then you have that one person, could be a family member, could be a friend, could be a stranger, come along and be like, you know what? you're right. Now, they may not say it so boldly in terms of like, give up is not going to work, but it may just be something to get you to stay in those feelings of, you know what? Maybe it just won't work. It didn't work for everybody else around you. How you really know it's going to work for you?
Wow.
And see, the voice, all that stuff changes, because you got to think about it. If this person was trying to get into the pool to get healed, and he has other people who are getting in front of him, because only one person got healed. Think about how many other people had to miss out on that healing. So now you're in a place where you're looking at everybody else and their failures, their sins, their shortcomings, their weaknesses. Oh, it didn't work for them. Oh, well, I guess it ain't gonna work for me. But the thing I love about that man is that even if he had days where he probably fed into it, ultimately he did not. Because Jesus was able to talk to this man and say, rise, take up your bed and walk. In other words, get up, take up whatever mess that you're laying in and keep on moving. And that does something so psychological to a person that when you have an enabler who's keeping you in this place and now somebody else comes in and speaks a word of faith and healing and hope and encouragement, that does something to that person. Oh, I don't know why I feel like going here. But to whoever watches this, you may want to speak encouragement to your significant other or to your spouse, because somebody else could come right along and say the very words that you need to be saying. And chances are they may feed into that. So while you're tearing that person down behind closed doors, that man or that woman at work, grocery store, or whatever could come in and speak life at the very moment that they need. Now, that person may be an enemy, I don't know. But you're not on your job, so how would you know? And so now somebody else is planting in your garden. So let's make sure that we are empowering people, because that's the other side of enabling. You know, we tend to speak about the negative side, but the positive side is empowering. But also, let's be conscious of those who are enabling or empowering us in the wrong way to stay down, to be distracted, to be unfocused, to be undisciplined. And let's block out those voices and move forward.
Yes, sir. All right, we're going to go to a commercial break real quick. And then when we come back, we're going to get to the last leg of this episode.
Toma on the beat.
Hey, what's up, fam? Yo, check this out. If you need music for your next album, your podcast, or maybe even your next video, you know, your YouTube or whatever, I need you to check out my bro, Toma Beats. Hit him up today so he can set you up with dope music like what you hear in the background now. He also is the producer of the music you hear in the background for seasons 1 and 2 of Pursuit of Passion podcast. So check him out today on Instagram, Toma_Beats. That's TOMA_Beats. Or you can look him up on Facebook, Toma Beats. All right, let him know K Noel sent you. All right.
All right, we're back. All right, so, sir, you already know how I do. So with this last little bit of it, I'm just gonna let you talk to the listeners and just encourage them, the listeners and the watchers. Shout out to the YouTube watchers. So,
yeah. Shout out, yes, indeed. You know what? I always have to preface it with this. You know my beliefs, you know my worldview is biblical, is Christian, is God-centered. Know your creator, because every creator has a purpose for its creation. No creator, no manufacturer creates or manufactures something and then says, I don't know what to do with it. What should I do with it? God isn't looking around asking everybody else, well, what do you think they should do? Honestly, God isn't even asking you what you think you should do because he doesn't know. Now, he may ask you some questions because he already knows the answer, and sometimes there are answers that comes from questions. That's counseling, therapy. I'm all for it. But know your creator, and in doing that, you'll come to know yourself. You will come to know his voice. You come to know his likes, his dislikes, his promptings. You come to know, even if he's not speaking verbally, you know, it's that nonverbal language. It's like when you're doing something and your parent looks at you and mom give you that look, you already know. Well, God does the same thing to us in so many different ways. And his voice is going to guide you. His voice is going to lead you where you need to go. It's going to ignite something in you that just makes sense, even if it doesn't make sense to everyone else. This is why you have to follow his rules and follow his principles, even as the Bible says that bad communication, it will corrupt even good character. So who are you listening to? What are you watching? Assess those voices, but also assess the voices of the people who are close to you. I think about all the time as a single man. I not only want to get to know this young woman, but I want to know what are her friends into. Because in a time and a day where everybody is choosing their tribe, they're choosing their accountability group, I need to know what you're listening to. I need to know what are your friends talking about. Now, I'm not talking about like being nosy. You got to tell me every single thing you talk about. No. But if you got all these counselors, the Bible says in a multitude of counselors, there is safety. If you feel like you're getting safety from these people, I would like to know what are they talking about? What kind of safety or protection are they surrounding you with? Because again, at the end of the day, you have God's voice and you have other people's voices. So in moving forward in your purpose, make sure that you always stick with God's voice. It's going to be the loved ones that are around you who may not know, they may not understand, they may not recognize. But it's your responsibility to carry out and obey what you know. If they don't believe in it, that's cool. Be respectful, put a little distance there, keep on about your way. Because again, at the end of the day, when you come before God and he's going to ask you, okay, so what did you do with the life that I gave you? You want to be able to stand confidently and say, you know what? I fulfilled the purpose that you sent for me to do on this earth. And the best way that you're going to be able to do that is have his voice, not listen to those enablers. Discern who's the enabler versus those people who do have good wisdom. Because sometimes you may need to take a seat. You may need to get some rest. So don't look at everybody as an enemy. In fact, in Proverbs, it says that faithful are the wounds of a friend, but deceitful are the kisses of an enemy. So an enemy may kiss you, make you feel good, but a friend is going to tell you what you need to know, when you need to know it, how you need to know it. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for being that friend. Oh, so many wounds. But it's going to be so much more rewarding and satisfaction that comes with that when you're listening to the voice of God and you're doing what you're supposed to do, because you know that voice and you're not listening to those enablers. So get on your grind. Be relentless. Be motivated. Choose those voices carefully. Pay attention to who you following on Clubhouse.
I was going to throw that in there.
Green Room, Facebook, Instagram, all of it. So yes, God's voice, and be discerning of other voices.
Yes, sir. And bro, I appreciate you, man, for taking the time out, man. I know you in the middle of moving, but I just want you to know, you already know that I appreciate you, man, more than you could ever know. So, yeah.
And brother, I appreciate it because, you know, I'm typically on the solo. So a lot of things that sound good to me, I need someone to bounce those things off of. So when you are igniting and initiating certain conversation, it makes me think like, oh, okay, well, maybe I was wrong about that. But hey, maybe I'm right about this. And so as I was sharing all that, it was hitting me. Like, okay, all right, you can do better in this area. You will do better in that area. So I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Well, for my listeners and my viewers, you already know the drill. I hope you all have a good evening, a good night, a good morning, whatever time of the day it is. You make the best of it. You leave no days left behind, and also be relentless. Man, y'all need to get y'all one of these shirts. I'm just saying, on my website. All right. So with that being said, we are out.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Pursuit of Passion podcast with K. Noel. Make sure to visit our website at www.relentlessmotivationalgroup.com to purchase books by K. Noel and Relentless Wear. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. Both handler names are RelentlessMG1. And also, check us out on Facebook at Relentless Motivational Group. Also, join the Relentless Texting Community today by texting Relentless to 404-962-0730. Be sure to subscribe now to the Pursuit of Passion podcast with K. Noel to catch a new episode every Thursday. And don't forget to leave a 5-star rating. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and a ton of other podcast platforms. If you would like to look us up on Anchor, that would be anchor.fm/The Pursuit of Passion. If you would like to send a donation, you can do so on our website or on our Anchor page. Last but not least, always remember that all things motivate.